What is going on, nerds and nerdettes? It's your boy Stevie B. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. I'm gonna actually get into it, and I'm gonna clue you guys in on what's been going on and why my videos have been so sporadic. But we'll get into that last because I want to focus on comic book stuff, and then give you the option if you want to hear my sob story at the end. You're more than welcome to. If you don't, then you can stop it at the end. But anyway, what's in the news? First I wanted to address Todd McFarlane did an interview on a podcast, and they had asked him about AI, and this man who built a company on the principle of creator ownership of your properties went on this podcast and said, I don't understand why everybody's whining about. He said AI is just a tool like anything else, and made the comments about, sorry, yeah, I know things bother me if I see them. But anyway, made comments such as, when automobiles were built, nobody cried for the people that were building buckboards and stuff like that. And I'm going, that's a false equivalency. But he basically told us that the world needs to quit crying, and that he also made the comment that when technology advances, people lose their jobs. Oh well, it happens. So this sounds like a man who is setting up, laying the groundwork to terminate some people in his company. I don't know. It's a man who basically turned his back on what I thought was his principles, and said, so what? People lose their jobs. So what? Quit crying about it. It happens. But that's the ramblings of a man who's made it to the top and is pulling the ladder up behind him. And so I don't agree with McFarlane. Now, that being said, I think AI is a wonderful tool, and it has its applications. I use AI a lot, and use it in my thumbnails because, well, I can't draw. But I'm not stealing other people's work, and I'm not profiting from it and passing it off as my own work. It's just it's just there for visuals, and it helps me. And I think AI is a helpful tool. But when you start saying, but when you can go on there and say, hey AI, I want to draw a character and make it in the style of Todd McFarlane, and it takes Todd McFarlane's skill sets and his techniques and pulls from different ones to build you a brand new character with his art. It's stealing to me, and I don't care what anybody says. It's stealing. He may not care, As it turns out, I looked into this because I wasn't sure, but all the homage covers to Spider-Man #1 that people do, he doesn't get paid for them. I'm shocked at that. I'm shocked. He doesn't get paid, and they don't need his permission to do them, because I looked it up, and I was shocked that wasn't the case. But at any rate, to call yourself an artist when you type in a prompt and tell a computer to draw you something is ridiculous. Not everyone can draw, but anyone can type. And I've done it. I can go into my Google Assistant and say, hey, build me a blueprint for a 3-bedroom house with a pool, a deck, a media room, giant walk-in closets, and blah, 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 and build that, and it'll crap me out one. Doesn't make me an architect. So I think his statement is a little is a little over the line, but that's just me. Also, Supergirl drops tomorrow. The trailer's been coming out, and the internet's already shitting all over it, even though they haven't seen it yet. Do I think it's going to be a blockbuster movie? No, probably not. It's probably not. And I don't think it has anything to do as much with who's playing Supergirl or anything. It's as much as it is. She's not a marquee character. She's not Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, or Spider-Man. She's so the interest in that character may be lower. But Lobo, I think, will pull people in. People like Jason Momoa and comic book collectors we all know that he was born to play that role, and there's no way he's going to suck at it. So I'm still excited to see it. I'm going to go see it, even though the people who haven't seen it are crapping on it already, and the Snyderverse versus James Gunn verse, and it's like, it's okay to like them both, right? I also saw the trailer for the new DC animated movie, Nightfall. That I'm really excited for. Extremely excited for, because I think we can all agree that where they've dropped the ball in the DCU on the big screen for movies, they have shined. They have shined in DC animated movies. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a 3-parter. The trailer looks good. Will they stay true to the source material? Probably tweak it here and there, but it also is going to get an R rating, and a lot of people have criticized them, saying they're trying to get an R rating just to be adult. But I disagree. I think they're trying. It would be like to me, it's in order to do that story justice, like in order to do the Joker justice. I mean, if you did a solo Joker movie, not that crap that Joaquin Phoenix was in, that was hot garbage. But I mean, an actual gritty Joker movie, you would have to make it rated R to convey the insanity that he is and the violence. And the same goes with this. In order to properly convey the violence of Bane, the violence of John Paul Valley, as Asbat, you almost got to crank that violence up, and you're going to get an R rating if you get too graphic with it. So I'm excited about that. But let me know in the comments what you think. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on Todd McFarlane, and that's fine. I'm just going to say, leave it at that. I stand by it. Not everyone can create art, but anyone can type. And I'll leave it at that. That's my opinion. Supergirl movie. Somebody may be coming here and ready to crap on it already, but the way I see it is, I'm not going to crap on a movie until I've seen it, and then I'll try something really revolutionary. I'll make up my own mind. I know. How rebellious of me. Rather than go on social media and let them make my mind up for me, I'm going to go see it and make up my own mind. Also, I've been watching Spider Noir. I want to like it. I really, 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 really want to like it. But I'm having a very difficult time. I've made it to season 5, and episode 5 of season 1, and it's a chore, and it shouldn't feel that way. I was going to I was going to try to binge watch the rest of season 1, but I watched one season, and I'm like, I just don't want to watch anymore. It is every trope and every cliche from every Depression era gumshoe detective type show. I know. He even talks like him, sweetheart. You keep waiting for him to go, yeah, sweetheart. But you know, the barely scraping by detective gets roped into a case that's bigger than he is, and meets the femme fatale who's a lounge singer. That's never happened. And I mean, it is literally a copy and paste of every other detective movie that takes place in that era. And I just can't get on board with it. I'm bored with it. It's terrible. So I may not make it through that. But that being said, I want to get on to the few comic books I have. I know it's been a while. You'd think I'd have a pile, but I actually have 4. This video has been more along the lines of letting you know what's going on and where I've been and what's going on in my life and why things have slowed way down. But I did get 4. I do have some in the mail, but with the holiday, the Juneteenth holiday, shutting mail down, for some reason, one day off from the mail sets Midtown back 2 weeks. I don't know, but I ordered some stuff on the 10th, you know, from Midtown, and it just left New York. So apparently one day off just throws a wrench into everything there. But anyway, let's get into it. I did not make any notes on here at all. But I picked this up, the spoiler variant of Avengers Armageddon #1. I'll put notes in here. I'll go back and do post-production. This was kind of a spur of the moment. I wasn't going to do a video today because I am absolutely worn out, and I'm trying not to be, you know, real cranky and crabby while I do this. I know you guys go, you're always cranky and crabby, but I'm trying not to be more cranky and crabby. But anyway, this was some kind of Red Hulk takes over Latveria or something like that. I think was the key in this, but there was another key. I can't remember what it is. The first appearance of somebody, but I can't remember, and I didn't do my due diligence. Also, since my charging port is not working on my phone, luckily I have a wireless charger, but that means my microphone won't plug in. So we're doing shocks, my shocks earbuds. So they're not quite by my mouth, but hopefully the sound quality is fair enough that we can get through it. Next up, I had to get absolute. I got suckered in. The absolute titles are absolutely taken off, and so I'm like, okay, I better get in on it. Yes, FOMO, call it what you want. But these, I'll be perfectly honest with you. These are buy and flip. I already sold my absolute Batman #1s. Fixing to sell my absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and all them #1s. I did, however, read absolute Green Arrow #1. Kind of liked it, so I may keep that one. But I got absolute Catwoman #1, and you know we'll pay the, what was it? I don't know, $5 cover price, and if I can get $10 for it down the road, bonus. I'll put that towards my eBay store. Got put on hold, but I'm working on it. Yeah, here is my list of books that are going to be on there. So if you want to pause the screen and zoom in, but it's just a lot of work, pictures and everything. And this one just intrigued me. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, although I did not like the Jay and Silent Bob and the Archie world. That should have been so much funnier than it was, and it was kind of a letdown. But I am going to give this one a shot, and it's Jay and Silent Bob, Jays of Future Past. So Jay and Silent Bob in the Marvel Universe. Going to give it a read, see if I like it. All right. Last but not least, this is my big key for the week, and it's Strange Adventures number 215. This is the first appearance of Sensei, who is a leader of the Society of Assassins, which, of course, later becomes the League of Assassins. Also, the first appearance of Hook. Hook is the guy who murdered the man who becomes Dead Man. So it's got a few keys in it, but I mainly got it because it's a key to the League of Assassins. Some call it the first appearance of the League of Assassins. I don't call it that one. I call it the first maybe cameo or something. But I do have the first appearance of the League of Assassins too. So I wanted this little kickoff minor key. It's not a big key, but I was happy to get it for what I pay, $22. So, and it's in pretty good condition. It's got a little crease across right under the title there, but then a few spine ticks, but not bad overall. Decent condition. So, but that is it. That is my little minor mini haul. I think I showed it. Yeah, these are all books I haven't put away yet. But so now here comes the part that I wanted to talk to you about. My subscribers. I'm always pretty transparent. I always try to, be honest with you guys and let you know what's going on. So if you're not interested in my personal drama, here's where you need to cut the video off. And thanks for watching the haul video. Peace. Like, subscribe, comment, and share, and all that good stuff. So now, there's a few of you out there who know that my father was diagnosed with cancer 8 years ago and was given a 5-year death sentence. They said he wouldn't last more than 5 years. Well, he fought through for 8 years. And just here in the last couple weeks, he took a turn and his health just went from here to plummet. It plummeted really quick. And I mean, it caught us all off guard. We weren't prepared for it. So on Friday, we called the EMTs and we took him to the hospital. And on Friday night, we made the decision to put him in hospice, in which he lasted 1 day. And fortunately, he passed Saturday evening. So, he was my stepdad, actually. But he's been my father for 42 years. And he's done more for me in my life than my biological father ever has. And let me tell you something about me, guys. As a teenager, when he met my mother, I hated his guts. He moved in and he started bossing me around and he was taking my mother away. I was getting away with murder until this man moved in and tried to discipline me. And I was thinking, how dare you son of a bitch. This is my house. Then he married my mom, and I stole from the man. I didn't do, he tried to discipline me. He tried to show me some work ethic and stuff. And I fought him every step of the way until I was pretty much an adult, and then I understood a little better, and he ended up becoming my mentor, my role model. I'm not a perfect person, but I'm a hell of a lot better person than I was before I met him, and I'm a hell of a lot better person than I would have been had I not met him. So, I owe a lot to the man. So, you know, rest his soul, Dad. I love you. But that's what I've been dealing with on and off for the last few weeks. Alongside of that is my mother is in early stages of Alzheimer's and in late stages of denial. So she has been a handful to deal with, and with my father's death, that has exacerbated her condition. So she went from mild to just really, really, really hard to work with. And my father, he did everything for my mother. He treated my mother fantastic. He gave her a life that, a lot of women would dream of having. He took care of all the bills, the finances. My mother didn't have to lift a finger. She was right out of the 50s, She didn't work. She stayed home, cooked and cleaned, and, he was traditional like that. And before you feminists get after me, that was their choice. My mother never cared about having a career, and he didn't stifle her. If she wanted to work, he would have let her. But she was perfectly content being a housewife, and he let her be that. He took care of her financially, and like I said, he took care of all the bills. Well, when he started to decline, my mother has never paid a bill in 30 years. So, or in 42 years for that matter. So she's kind of lost, and in her state that she's incapable of picking it up. So I've had to step in and gather up the finances, and there were a few surprises that I wasn't prepared for. Apparently, though, they bought a new car 6 months ago and never had it registered, so we got that done today. But there's I don't know, and I'm not going to bore you with all the specifics, but there is a lot going on, and I have a lot on my plate. I have a monumental mountain to climb, and so comic books have had to take a back seat for a while, and I will have a show next week, because I'm chipping away at everything. And for those of you, my subscribers who are going to ask, I'm doing fine. I had my grief. I had my moment to grieve, and I got to speak to him and tell him all the things I wanted to tell him before he passed. So I got my closure, and so I'm doing okay. But like I said, the uphill battle is with my mother and making sure she's taken care of, and so that's my top priority. But I needed a little comic book therapy today because I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, and there's a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I needed to spend a few minutes with you guys to kind of clear my head, take a deep breath, and get recentered, get focused again, and just calm down a little bit. So I appreciate you guys for being there and letting me rant. But that's what's been going on. That's where your buddy Stevie B has been, and why I've kind of faded off in the background. I am not pulling a foo. I'm not gonna just hightail and leave you guys. If I have to shut it down, I would at least come on here and let you know, hey, I got to shut it down, and here's why, and so on and so forth. But anyway, that is it. I'm not going to bore you guys with. Didn't want to tell you guys until we had our comic book stuff. I don't want to bring the channel down, but just wanted to be transparent with you guys, let you know what's going on and why I've been pulling disappearing acts periodically here and there. So hopefully we get my mother straightened out, get things smoothed out, and I'll be back. I've got an idea for a series that would give me content and well, for days when I got 4 books to show and not enough. I say not enough time and not enough content to fill any time, but I'm 25 minutes in and and I'm still rambling. But I thought about doing a part series. I have people, not so much you as subscribers, but people in my comic book Facebook group that have asked, what kind of keys you got? What's in your collection and everything? And I'm going, well, dude, what do you want a list? So I thought about starting alphabetically, maybe going through not my entire collection, but just I separate my key books with my reading books. My reader books that aren't keys, but I just wanted. So I thought about, starting alphabetically and doing a multi-part series where we go through the A's first and show off all the keys books that I have, whether they be major keys or microscopic keys. They still have some kind of key factor. But so let me know if you're on board with that. I'm kind of excited about doing it. I think it'll give me some cool content, and it'll also let me stroll down memory lane. You ever just go through your comics and just look through them and go, oh yeah, I forgot I had that. No, man, that's cool. I forgot I had that. Well, it's therapy for me as well. But anyway, I've got to get off here. No rest for the wicked. But stay tuned next week. I got 2 major gold key books to show you. Gold key, you know what I mean. But I call them gold key, the big keys, the major keys. Yeah, that's what. But I got 2 of them that I purchased. Mainly frustration purchase. It was like I'm stressed out. Screw it. I need something to break me out of it. But anyway, again, 2 major key books on their way. Should be here before the end of the week, but will be on next Monday's show. And until then, before you go, do all those YouTube things. Love for you to do. Like, subscribe, comment, share. And I appreciate you letting me vent. And if you stuck around to the end, you're a trooper. Shows you really care. But we will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.